My husband asked me to help him pick a gift for his colleague. The card said, "You make every morning worth waking up for." I sent her the same bouquet, with a card that said, "Did he tell you about the morning he missed court?" I never thought I'd be the kind of woman writing a story like this. For most of my life, I stayed in my lane. I worked my job, kept the house in order, raised our son, and supported my husband. I believed in being solid, being loyal. I didn't expect fireworks after a decade together. But I expected honesty. I expected respect. I was wrong. I'm 39, and I've been married to Jared for 11 years. We live in Lexington, Kentucky, in a 3-bedroom ranch house we bought just before our son was born. We've got a 9-year-old boy who still thinks his dad is some kind of hero. That's the hardest part of all of this. Jared's a public defender. He helps people with custody battles, unpaid child support, that kind of thing. It's stressful, thankless work, but I used to be proud of what he did. I supported him through law school, working double shifts at a diner while he pulled all-nighters. I believed in him, in us. So when he started talking about a new colleague at work, I didn't think much of it. Her name was Sophie. He'd mention her now and then. Sophie had a good idea for a motion today. Or, Sophie's handling that Jenkins case with me. It was casual at first. Just updates, like he'd tell me about anyone at work. But then it started to shift. I noticed how his whole tone changed when he said her name. A little more excited. He smiled more when he talked about her. I pushed it down. I told myself I was being paranoid. Insecure. One Friday night, he came home and said, "Hey, Sophie's birthday is next week. She's been having a hard time. I thought I'd send her something. A bouquet. Can you help me pick one out?" Just like that. I froze for half a second. Then I said, "Sure." I didn't want to seem jealous. I didn't want to give him a reason to lie if he hadn't already. We sat down together and looked at flowers online. He kept picking out these over-the-top arrangements. Roses, lilies, white orchids. He landed on one with red roses and white lilies. It was dramatic. Romantic. I raised an eyebrow. "You sure that's appropriate for a coworker?" He paused. "She loves lilies. It's not romantic, it's thoughtful." I didn't argue. I let him type the message for the card. I watched him type it out word by word. "You make every morning worth waking up for." I stared at the screen. "That's the message?" I asked. He nodded like it was no big deal. "She's been going through a divorce. It'll make her feel appreciated." That was the moment. The moment I knew. This wasn't about friendship. This wasn't about work. That message wasn't casual. That was intimate. But I didn't say a word. I told him it looked nice. We placed the order. Delivery set for Monday morning. That night, I lay next to him in bed and stared at the ceiling while he snored. I thought about every time he said he had to stay late at work. Every morning he left early. Every weekend he suddenly had a meeting downtown. I thought about the time, 3 weeks back, when he told me he missed court because he overslept. He was frantic that day, pacing, cursing under his breath. He asked me to call his office and pretend to be a receptionist from a doctor's office saying he had food poisoning. I did it. I believed him. Later that week, I found a hotel receipt in his glove box. One night in Frankfurt. Not Lexington. It stood out because it was a Sunday night, and I remember he told me he went to his cousin's house to help fix a leaky faucet. Frankfurt is where Sophie lives. I never confronted him. I just filed it away. Now I knew what to do. Sunday morning, I called the same florist and ordered another bouquet. Same exact flowers. Same wrapping. Same delivery time. But my card read, "Did he tell you about the morning he missed court?" Because I knew that bouquet would sit right next to the one from him. And she would know. She would read both. She would connect the dots. Monday morning came. I packed our son's lunch, kissed him goodbye, and waited. At 10:07 a.m., I got the first call from Jared. I let it ring. Then another. And another. Then a text. Just one word. Why? I didn't reply. When he got home that night, he didn't say anything. He didn't even take off his coat. He just stood in the doorway, pale and shaking. I was sitting at the kitchen table. He opened his mouth, but nothing came out. I didn't give him the chance. I stood up, walked right past him, and poured myself a glass of wine. Then I walked out to the back porch and sat down. It was quiet out there. Cold, but quiet. I waited. I stayed out on the porch until it was dark. I didn't hear him come out, and I didn't care. That night, I slept in our son's room. Jared slept in ours alone. He didn't knock. Didn't call out. Maybe he thought silence would make it all go away. The next morning, he was gone before I got up. I got our son ready for school like normal. Made his cereal, packed his backpack, kissed him on the forehead. But inside, I was shaking. Not from sadness. From rage. And from something else, something colder. Like the part of me that used to love him had snapped clean off. Around 10 a.m., I got a text. Can we talk tonight? Please. I didn't reply. I waited until after lunch, then I did something I hadn't done in years. I called my cousin Mia. She lives up in Louisville and works in IT. We hadn't been close lately, mostly because life gets in the way, but she's sharp, direct, doesn't waste time with lies. I told her everything. She didn't act surprised. Want me to dig into his email? She asked. I hesitated. Then I said, yeah, do it. She walked me through it. Jared and I shared a home computer, and he never cleared his saved passwords. Took 5 minutes to get into his Gmail. The inbox was clean. Almost too clean. But he didn't delete his archived folders. That's where I found it. A folder labeled us. Inside, months of messages. The emails started innocent enough. Work stuff. Case files. Legal briefs. Then came personal jokes. Late-night writing sessions. Compliments. Complaints about me. She never listens anymore. I feel like I can breathe when I'm with you. Let's get through your divorce first. Then we'll figure us out. My hands were shaking. My throat felt like it was closing. Then I opened an email from 2 weeks ago. It had an attachment. A hotel booking confirmation. Frankfurt. Same date, I found the receipt. Same name, Jared A. Langston. But that wasn't all. There was a second file. A photo. A selfie. Jared, shirtless, lying next to a woman with long dark hair and freckles. Smiling. Cozy. Comfortable. Familiar. I zoomed in on the background. A lamp I recognized. Because it matched the one I saw on Sophie's LinkedIn profile picture on her nightstand. That's when I realized how deep this went. This wasn't an affair that just happened. It was built. Federal protected. And I had helped him send her flowers. I logged out and forwarded the email to myself. Then I sent it to Mia with a message, keep this in case I need it later. That night, Jared came home like he was walking into a courtroom. Slow. Careful. He found me sitting at the dining room table with my laptop open. I want to explain, he said. I didn't look up. Don't lie. Just start. He stood there for a long moment, then finally said, I didn't mean for it to go this far. I laughed. It was dry. Sharp. That's not a denial. He sat down. We were working a tough case. She was going through her divorce. We leaned on each other. It turned into something more. Did you love her? I asked. He looked me in the eye and said nothing. That silence hurt more than anything else. I wanted to tell you, he said finally. But I didn't want to lose our son. Or the house. Or your reputation. I finished. He nodded. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just stared at him. You lied to me. You had me help you lie. You had me write a card to your girlfriend. She's not, don't, I said. Then I stood up, walked over to the counter, and pulled out a thick envelope. I tossed it on the table in front of him. What's this? My meeting with a lawyer. Custody agreement draft. I want full physical custody. You'll get weekends. And holidays if you earn it. You're serious. Dead serious. He opened the envelope, flipped through the papers, then looked back at me. His face was drained. I'll fight this, he said. Good, I said. Then we'll let the judge hear about Sophie. And your missing court date. And the hotel receipts. And the emails. You wouldn't. I already have. He stood, pushed the chair back hard enough to scrape the wood floor, and left the room. I didn't follow. That night, I emailed Sophie. Just 3 words. You can have him. I didn't hear from Sophie. Not for days. She didn't reply to the email. She didn't block me either. She just went silent. That silence said more than a message ever could. Jared, on the other hand, started panicking. He didn't yell or get mean, not yet. He tried the other route. Playing nice. Pretending he still had a chance. He cleaned the house. Took our son to school. He made dinner like it would fix everything. I stayed quiet. Watched him move through the days like a man with a ticking clock strapped to his chest. Then, a week after I sent that email, I got a call. From Sophie. It was the middle of the day. I was folding laundry. I saw the name on my phone and froze. I answered. She didn't waste time. I didn't know about the court thing, she said. Her voice was calm, flat. I figured. I also didn't know he was still living with you. He told me you were separated. Of course he did. I didn't say anything. I let her talk. I ended it, she said. Before your flowers. Before I got your card. I had already told him I couldn't be part of it anymore. Not like that. That's convenient, I said. I'm not asking for sympathy. I just wanted you to know. You wanted me to know you got bored of him before I burned it all down. She paused. I guess that's one way to see it. There was something in her voice that caught me off guard. Not guilt exactly. More like embarrassment. Like she knew she got played too. He used both of us, I said. The only difference is I wore the ring. Then she said something I didn't expect. Check his Dropbox. What? I'm not proud of this, she said quickly. But we used to share files for court cases. He kept personal stuff in there too. Pictures. Notes. One of them was a list. A list. She sighed. A list of women. I stopped breathing for a second. What kind of list? Women he got close to. Not all of them physical. Some were just connections. But he wrote things about each one. It was like a damn report card. I sat down on the couch, laundry forgotten. I can't access it anymore. He changed the password. But I thought you should know. I'm sorry. She hung up before I could say anything else. My hands were shaking as I logged onto our shared Dropbox account. Jared used it for work backups, mostly. He hadn't touched it in months. He probably thought I'd forgotten it even existed. He didn't change the password. Inside a folder labeled Miscellaneous, buried under case notes and scanned receipts, was a document titled Connections. It was a spreadsheet. Dates. Names. Notes. Ratings. Ratings. I counted 6 names. One was Sophie. Another was a woman from his law school days. I remembered her. Then one from the court clerk's office. A barista from the shop he used to go to before work. And me. I was on there. Right at the top. With a note next to my name. Stable. Long term. Necessary. Necessary. That word made my stomach turn. That was all I was to him. A fixture. A support system. A damn life raft while he floated from one thrill to the next. I sat there for an hour. Just staring. That night, I printed the list. The next morning, I walked into his office at the courthouse. He looked up from his desk and froze when he saw me. I didn't speak. I handed him the papers. One by one. The flower card. The hotel receipt. The photo. And finally, the list. His face went pale. His mouth opened, but no sound came out. Destroy this, I said, quiet but sharp. Or I will. He blinked. What do you mean? I mean, you've got 1 week. Resign. Walk away from this job before I send this list to the ethics board, your supervisor, every woman on that spreadsheet, and every client you've ever represented. His hand shook as he picked up the paper. And if you so much as speak my name in court, I will take our son and move, and you will never see him again without a judge and a lawyer present. You can't, I can, and I will. I left before he could say another word. That was the day I stopped being quiet. The next week was strange. Quiet in the house, but loud everywhere else. Jared didn't resign right away. He tried to pretend like nothing had changed. He still kissed our son goodbye, still asked if I needed anything from the store, still tried to sit on the couch like we were just having a slow patch. But every day, he looked more tired. He knew what was hanging over his head. On the 6th day, I got a text from one of the court clerks. Her name was Tara. She was one of the names on that list. She'd always been polite to me at holiday parties, never looked me in the eye for too long. She wrote, I got an email. With a spreadsheet. Is this real? I stared at my phone. My heart pounded. I hadn't sent it. Someone else had. I texted Mia. Did you send it? She replied instantly. No. But I downloaded a copy like you said. Didn't touch it. Then I saw it. An email in my inbox, forwarded from a random Gmail. All it said was, thought the women deserved to know. You can finish what he started. There was no name. No signature. But I had a guess. Sophie. I didn't feel relief. Not yet. I felt the weight of the wreckage. And it was still falling. By Monday, 3 women had filed complaints against Jared with the Kentucky Bar Association. 2 clients of his heard about the list and filed ethics reports. He was under investigation by the time I walked into my lawyer's office that morning. He'd been suspended. No court dates. No clients. No paycheck. I wasn't celebrating. I was preparing. My lawyer filed our custody papers the next day. Full physical custody for me. Jared could ask for supervised visitation once he got through the bar review board and once I had documentation from a therapist saying it wouldn't harm our son. He contested it, of course. He filed motions, tried to paint me as bitter, emotional, unstable. Claimed I was poisoning our son against him. But the judge read the statements, read the emails, saw the spreadsheet. When Jared took the stand, he broke. He cried, said he lost himself, said he loved his family and didn't mean to destroy it, said he was trying to be better. The judge listened, then gave me everything I asked for. Sole custody, our house, child support, and a 6-month block on any unsupervised visits. Jared moved in with a friend outside Lexington. He sold his car, shut down his social media, and applied for a job at a hardware store. He went from rising legal star to cashier in less than 3 months. And Sophie? She moved too. Out of Frankfurt. Transferred to a firm in Cincinnati. Sent me one more email before she left. I didn't do it for you. I did it for myself. But I hope it helps. I didn't reply. The truth is, I wasn't clean in all this either. I ignored signs for years. I let him get away with lies, little ones, because I didn't want to shake up the life we built. I was tired. I was busy. I was afraid. I gave too many chances. Stayed too quiet. Until I wasn't. Revenge didn't feel like fireworks. It felt like silence. It felt like walking into a courtroom with my head held high while he couldn't meet my eyes. It felt like freedom. Now, every morning, I wake up without wondering where he is, who he's texting, what lie I'll have to swallow next. And I make my own coffee. And I write my own cards. To myself. You make every morning worth waking up for. And I mean it.